I bought an M1 iPad Pro in 2025, and you might call me an idiot, but hear me out. So the M1 iPad Pro was originally released in 2021, making this device officially 4 years old. But what's surprising is this iPad honestly doesn't feel 4 years old. And as we know, putting the M series chips in something like iPad combined with iPad OS, let's just say they became completely overpowered. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the design of this iPad Pro. The first thing you'll notice is it's made of 100% aluminum. Well, all the iPad Pros are made of aluminum, but that's besides the point. On the back, you're getting a 12 megapixel main camera, and if you notice, you actually get an ultra wide camera on this iPad, which is not on the newer iPad Pros. So if you're trying to become an iPad Pro photographer, well, it's there. But it is a 10 megapixel ultra wide, and then you get the flash, and that's pretty much it for the back. Now we move on to the sides, which you get your classic volume up, volume down rocker, and then at the top, you get your power on, power off button. And at the bottom, we get our speakers and our USB Type-C 4 port, which also doubles as a Thunderbolt 4 port. And now we move on to the screen of this iPad Pro. And if you notice, the iPad Pros really haven't changed that much since 2021. I mean, the bezels got slightly smaller, but overall, they kind of look the same. And once again, you're getting an Apple Masterclass. I mean, you're getting a mini LED display alongside 120 Hz ProMotion, and then the screen gets up to 600 nits peak brightness. Alright, so now performance. The main question you've probably been waiting to be answered in this video. And you might be like, well, this tablet is 4 years old. There's no way that it's still that good in 2025. And let me just tell you, it's still that good in 2025. Now, as many other reviewers like myself have already said, when Apple made the decision to put a desktop class chip in an iPad, we already saw how overpowered it was gonna be. Now we are getting the 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage to go alongside this M1 chip and iPad OS 26, which you're getting a nice buttery and smooth fluid experience here in 2025. I haven't experienced any stutters, any glitches, no crashes. Everything is still holding up well within the operating system. But outside of that, you might have some concerns, like maybe if I want to do a little bit of video editing or photo editing, or perhaps play a couple of graphic intensive games. And well, I'm here to tell you that the M1 chip can do all of that. And it's crazy how a 4-year-old tablet is still going this strong in 2025 and can even keep up with its newer competitors. And if you guys want any specific games or apps tested on this iPad Pro, let me know down below in the comments. Alright, so alongside performance, we got battery health. What is the battery life like on this tablet in 2025? Now I gotta be honest, since I bought my secondhand, used and refurbished, it came with a 92% battery health, which is actually pretty good for 2025. Meaning that my battery life basically lasts the whole entire day, even with a little bit of change or leftovers to eat for the next day. Now moving on to the cameras of this iPad Pro. So as you know, on the back of this iPad, we get a 12 megapixel main camera and a 10 megapixel ultra wide. Now the front facing camera is 12 megapixels. And on the main camera, it actually shoots up to 4K 30. So if you're into recording videos on your iPad, well, that functionality is there. But the selfie camera actually records up to 1080p 60, which is probably the camera you're gonna be using a majority of the time. Now, one thing to notice is that the camera on this iPad Pro for some reason is facing portrait and not landscape, which is what you'll see fixed in future generations. So if you hold the iPad like this and you want to use Face ID, or you want to just be in a normal FaceTime call, then sometimes you can find yourself covering up the camera. And this iPad also comes with center stage. So this is the front-facing camera of the iPad Pro. Now, obviously, you're not gonna be vlogging on an iPad Pro like this. You're probably gonna be answering video calls and FaceTimes. And for that, honestly, I think the front-facing camera is perfectly fine. Let me know your opinions down below in the comments. So then how long will this M1 iPad Pro last? Now, keep in mind, when Apple made the decision to put a desktop class chip in an iPad like this, they increased the longevity of this iPad by a lot. So even though it was released in 2021 and it's still running buttery smooth here in 2025, we're expecting about maybe 5 to 7 more years, possibly past 2030 at this point. So if you're worried about software updates, honestly, don't. You really don't have a reason to be worried about it because this iPad still has a lot more years left in it. So should you buy an M1 iPad Pro in 2025? Now I gotta be honest, as buyers, we have a tendency to experience FOMO. If we don't go with the latest or greatest iPhone or iPad, then we have the tendency to feel like we're missing out. And Apple just released the M5 iPad Pro yesterday. But what people honestly fail to recognize is these previous gen iPad Pros are still very powerful and can even save you a lot of money here in 2025. And part of that has to do with the tech community doing M5 propaganda, if I'm being honest, trying to make it seem like a huge jump when in reality, the past couple of generations have been small, incremental jumps. And you don't want to end up on a Reddit post or Twitter having buyer's remorse because you just shelled out $1,700 for an iPad Pro that you can't even take fully advantage of. So if you are a buyer on a budget searching for an iPad that honestly still has a ton of value here in 2025, and you don't want to go with the iPad Air that has a crappy screen, then honestly, The iPad Pro M1 is still a good choice. Even the M2 model is still a good choice. I mean, these things are just still getting cheaper by the day, and they still have incredible value in 2025. Now, if you guys enjoyed the video, the like button is free, but if you disliked it, I mean, you can still leave a hate comment to help the algorithm. But anyways, if you guys are enjoying the content on the channel and you want to support me, the subscribe button, once again, always free. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.